All right, here we go. Yes, we are going to gamble €200,000 on professional drifting, but not because we want to, but because we have no other choice. Now that doesn't make any sense right now, but by the end of this video, it will all be clear. I'm Dave from Drift Games, and this is our brand new show, Games Changers. Alright guys, welcome, and obviously in order to make an insane decision like this, we're going to need to give you guys some context. Some of you might have been watching this channel for the last couple of years and know exactly who we are, but if you don't know who we are, here's a brief history. So 10 years ago, I discovered the amazing sport of drifting, absolutely fell in love with it, and started commentating at the Irish Drift Championship. 4 years later, I took over that series and we did crazy stuff. The team started to expand and we eventually had 5 championships across the world that we were running, including the Emirates Drift Championship, British Drift Championship, Irish Drift Championship, Irish Amateur Drift Championship, and then we got involved in the Drift Masters European Championship. So everything was going crazy. We then expanded to track days, to merch brands, and on top of all that, we were doing a lot of fun stuff with our own cars. So we said, hey, let's start a channel where we can show the stuff we do away from the big events, which was Drift Games. And in 2017, we started Drift Games and we started working on some vlogs and all that kind of stuff as well. And everything was going pretty good until somebody decided to eat a bat.
That Ireland has had its first case diagnosed of COVID-19.
Large public gatherings are cancelled. Many of you want to know when this will be over.
The truth is, we just don't know yet.
So all of a sudden, everything shuts down. The events disappear, are cancelled, rescheduled. Our entire year just goes to So the 6 of us are trying really hard to get these events moving, to get back on top of things, but the longer things go on, it just gets tougher and tougher for us.
This is the best one ever!
So obviously 70–80% of our income just disappears overnight, and we're not in any sort of governing body, or we don't have any sort of support from anybody, so we had to kind of figure it out ourselves. We put our heart and soul into the vlogs this year, which have seen some really good reactions from you guys, and we hope that if you go back and watch them, if you've never seen them, there's some really fun stuff in there. But as time went on, we realized we were running out of money fast. So towards the middle of 2020, things were looking pretty grim. We'd obviously all taken a big pay cut, but the work wasn't there. We just didn't know when events were going to come back online, and all the money was starting to run out. So we were really worried, and the most important thing I wanted to do was keep the team together, because these guys aren't just colleagues or employees, they're my friends, and all of the cool stuff that we've done and achieved over the last 6 years has come from them.
Ha! Gay!
I thought it would be super unfair that if we had to let staff go because of something that wasn't their fault. So we were pretty much giving up hope a couple of months ago on Drift Games and the company even surviving.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
But there may have been one, and only one, glimmer of hope. The Irish government were starting to back 80% of the loans that the banks in Ireland were granting to companies like ours, small or medium. The one stipulation that the banks had was that that loan could not be used for debt or for wages. So it had to be used for investment. So we were saying, hey, while we invest in, well, we can invest in events, we can invest in what we normally do, maybe we should try something different. And that's where this big scheme came from. We've always had one motto here at Drift Games, that you follow your dreams, you follow what you believe in. And if you do, you never work a day in your life, but you also achieve more because you spend more time and effort doing something. And it's worked really well for us over the last couple of years. All the championships, all the events, and all the projects we've done them not just as a job, but something we wanted to do. And that's why they're successful. So if we were going to do something new and something different, we had to do something that really followed our dreams. Now, the Drift Games team have been around drift events for many years. We've done media, we've run them, we've done stuff on the ground, stuff in the tower, and stuff behind the scenes. But really our passion is where everybody's passion in drifting is, which is driving. And we've flirted with it for a couple of years of doing some amateur stuff, but I think we sat down and said, hey, if we're going to do one thing that all the company's future hinges on, why don't we try and become a professional drift team? So we put together our plan, and we decided to go to the bank and ask for €100,000 to create a professional drift team.
serious?
Now that sounds a little bit crazy, and it probably was, and we didn't expect to get it. But our bank manager said,
Well, I don't know what you guys do, and I don't know what drifting is, but for the last 6 years you kind of seem to be surviving, so hey, let's take a chance on it.
so the bank are going to give us €100,000 to make a professional drift team. That sounds great, but then you also got to think, we got to pay that money back, and it's going to cost a lot more than that to become a professional drift team. Now, before we get into that, I want to make one thing clear. When I say professional drift team, I think you and me are thinking of two very different things.
I'm so damn confused.
Drifting is pretty funny because everyone refers to professional or amateur or pro-am as classes of drivers. So if you're an amateur, a pro-am, or a pro, you actually technically could be unprofessional in all. When I say professional, you gotta think of other sports like football or rugby. What professional means is that you're paid to go drifting. Now in Ireland and England, that is not very common. While there are loads of drivers supported by great brands to build their budgets to go drifting, the majority still work regular jobs or put up most of the budget themselves. That means I think there's only about 3 professional drivers in the entirety of Ireland and the UK. The first that comes to mind is Steve Bagsy Biagioni, who drives for Monster Energy. Now he's been building his brand for over 10 years, has appeared in viral videos, and it is his job to be a professional drifter. But how did he get there? We have no idea. The second driver that comes to mind is Dean Carnage Carney, one of our friends here at Drift Games from Waterford in Ireland, who competes in the Formula Drift series in a Dodge Viper. Now he's had to leave the country to try and become a professional driver, so that's pretty tough as well. And finally is the man that needs no introduction, James the Machine Dean. And let's be honest, he is a professional driver, but he's also the best driver in the whole freaking world. Now of course I am assuming that they are the only 3 paid professional drifters in Ireland and the UK. That's not to say there aren't amazing drivers in Ireland and the UK that should be paid, but we think most of them hold down regular jobs, put some of their own budget in, or at the very least are being paid to cover their costs, but are not paid to actually drive. So don't shoot us in the comments if we've missed out on anybody, and if we have, we're sorry. So when you look at those 3, you've got to either be building your brand for 10 years and you don't know how you do that, you have to move country, or you've got to be the best in the world. So all of those things makes it seem pretty unlikely for any of us normal mere mortals to become professional drivers. But the big thing is, we don't know. You guys sitting at home and me sitting here, we have no idea how to become a professional drift team. We have no idea what that involves, and we have no idea how it works. Every year, these big fancy cars with all of their logos and all of these drivers arrive at these championships, but you never see what happens before that. How do they interact with the sponsors? How do they raise the budget? How do they build the cars? Well, I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if we did a little social experiment? And that's what this announcement and this show is all about. We're going to take you from day dot, which is right now, where we are amateur drifters who have absolutely no idea how to get there, to 150 days time, where we hope to be fully paid professional drifters. We're going to borrow around about €100,000 from the bank, and we're going to need another €100,000 to complete the process over 12 months. That works out as probably €100,000 on building competitive cars, €50,000 on wages, and $50,000 on getting to and from the events and fixing all the breakages that go with that. We're going to show you everything from branding to liveries to training, but we're not going to do it alone. We're going to talk to all of these guys who have already done it. So hopefully by the end of this series, we will be professional drifters, you'll know how to be a professional drifter,
Or we'll fail miserably.
and you'll know that this was the stupidest idea we've ever had.
Stupidest idea we've ever had.
Okay, so that's a lot of information, so let's summarize. We are going to attempt to become a professional drift team. We've given ourselves a deadline of 150 days. We know it's going to cost €200,000 for the next 12 months, and we've got to find all of that money to make it a success or we go out of business. If you're a fan and thinking about getting into drifting, or you're already drifting in competitive level or grassroots, let's be honest, the dream for all of us is to be a professionally paid driver. So hopefully this series will be able to teach you guys and us how to do it. Now, nothing like this has ever been done before, and we're not sure if it's going to be a success. But even if it's a failure and we lose our company and everything goes to at least you'll know it was a terrible idea and you'll save yourself tons of money for even trying. So we're going to talk through all of our process from start to finish on this show. We're also going to talk to everybody in the know, professional drivers, drift organizers, sponsors. We're going to hear their views and get some advice on how we actually get to where we need to go. But the most important thing is we start with 4 simple principles. We're going to need 4 things to make this whole project a success.
1.
we're going to need competitive and unique competition cars. Something way better than we've had before. So we're going to have to build 2 cars from scratch.
And unique competition cars. 2.
We're going to need to become far better drivers. We are just not good enough to win anything on track right now.
3.
We're going to need to create a lot of partnerships and gain a lot of sponsorship to cover the huge build that's coming with this project.
4.
We're going to have to build a very cool brand around the team, and that comes from design, liveries, and everything else. So we're going to need a lot of work in the graphic design department. Now I know what you're saying, Dave. Let's just go back to number 1. You've called it a drift team, and that means that there's more than one driver, and it also means there's more than one car. Yes, I will be piloting one of those new chassis that we're building for 2021, but my good friend Josh Holsworth will be piloting the other. Now I've chosen Josh because I think he's got potential. He's an up-and-coming driver. He's also pretty hilarious to watch being in high-pressure situations. So I think he's going to bring good comedic value to our team.
This is the worrying one.
Put it in gear, Josh.
So if you guys have been guessing what this project is, are we building a new drift car? You were half right, because we are building 2. Not only are we building 2 brand new drift cars, which are now in the Drift Games garage, ready to be stripped down and be rebuilt as amazing new drift cars, but we're also building 2 chassis that have never been built in Ireland or the UK before. Sounds like a challenge? It's going to be. We don't know much about them. We're putting together the whole Drift Games team to try and get them done, but I'm going to tell you a little bit more about them on the next 2 episodes of Games Changers. On this series, we'll be exploring absolutely everything to do with professional drifting, from talking to YouTubers, influencers, partners, sponsors, big companies, engine builders, designers, guys who set up cars, professional drifters, amateur drifters, and everything in between. We're going to try and get the whole picture so we can understand what professional drifting is and how to achieve our goals. And of course, when it comes to training, we are going to be exploring the world of online drifting on Assetto Corsa and hanging out with lots of people on there and trying to improve our skills there too. Here at Drift Games, we absolutely love online drifting. But more importantly, for you guys watching at home, we want to get you in the game as well. So we've partnered up with digitalmotorsports.com, Ireland's first online sim store, who are experts in everything when it comes to online drifting. And they're going to give you guys a full free sim rig at the end of this series. Now I know you want to know, how do you win? But it's quite simple. Every single episode of Games Changers, we're going to release a letter. It looks a bit like this. And that letter will form a sentence. And at the end of the series, the first person who can put that full sentence together correctly wins a full simulator. And that's not bad going. So if you're along for the ride and you like the idea, well, we're going to be releasing 3 videos every week, every Sunday, every Tuesday, and every Thursday at 8 p.m. And they'll be a mix of Games Changers, which is this project. We've got a brand new show coming called Catch My Drift, where we give our opinions on the world of drifting and count down plenty of top 10s and get some inside information on car culture in general. We're also going to be bringing back the Drift Games vlog when this whole Corona lockdown thing kind of passes over. So if you want to get involved with all of that, give us a comment below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we're in for it all together for 150 days. You're either going to watch the greatest success story in drift history or the greatest travesty that we've ever come up with. So we'll see you this Tuesday to reveal Josh's brand new car, and we'll see you Thursday to reveal my brand new car. And I promise you, they won't disappoint. Thanks for watching, guys.